Hello. I like to say and speak on something that, you know, we think billionaires are strictly Republican. And we have reason for believing that, they want deregulation, they want favorable taxes. And, a lot of that is the Republicans kissing their butt, trying to get their financial support. You know, it's much easier to call the Koch brothers and get a nice influx of cash into your campaign or whatever you want money for, then call a thousand or maybe 10,000 people and get like $100 a piece. And you got to talk to each one of them and you got to schmooze and all that stuff. Well, they just take the Koch brothers to an Epstein's Island and, you know, they get their money. And and I don't know that the Koch brothers went to Epstein's Island. I wouldn't be surprised though. But they can schmooze them. They can promise them things that are beneficial for their business to get that money, and that's all it's all about. When the Democrats are in charge, the billionaires support the Democrats too, and they switch. Because they're investors. They invest what's hot. You know, wind farms are not necessarily hot right now, or solar, because Trump's in charge and he's put the kibosh on all that stuff and the electric cars, and he's trying to kill it all because he's an oil guy. I mean, his head Secretary of State on his first term was the CEO of Exxon. So that tells you something right there. You know, and it'd be wrong to say Republicans or billionaires aren't Republican, but some of the billionaires, it's hard to say if they're Republican or Democrat. They don't usually say because they put one foot in both worlds, and they play the field. They play what's favorable to them. Just like when Biden was in charge, Google shut down videos that favored Trump. They censored their videos, and I'm sure now they're censoring people that are favorable to the Democrats. So it goes back and forth, and just like the government. And the billionaires need to do that because they have such great investments and have such potential loss. You know, Musk kissing Trump's ass. Well, and it's funny because Trump killed the electric car business, or tried to, and took away the tax benefits and all that. And his right-hand man was who makes the electric cars and only electric cars. And he killed the electric car business, or tried to. So you gotta wonder why he did that. And because the people that voted for him don't like electric cars and don't care to save the planet because they're anti-wind, they're anti-solar. Drill, baby, drill. That's what they're into. And coal, clean coal. That's the ironic part. Clean coal. So natural gas, which is the worst thing for the planet ever. And methane gas is horrible for the ozone and for the atmosphere. And and Trump just keeps pushing these agendas, and the Republicans are lining up to support him, so he doesn't attack them with a tariff or something like that. Apple didn't suffer from tariffs because Tim Cook was at his inauguration, and probably paid $1 million towards the inauguration. $1 million is nothing, but to Trump it's nothing. Trump doesn't think $1 million is nothing. He values a penny, but he wants all the pennies. And then he stops making a penny, so you gotta wonder. But he's very cheap, he's very greedy, and he gives nothing without a string attached. And if you don't do what he wants, and the billionaires know that, and they don't need a congressional hearing to shut down Facebook or YouTube or Google, or they shut down the antitrust Google claims that their government was making. That's all gone, and this is why they do what they do. They're opportunists. It's not that they lean right or left. They lean green. And whatever the weather is that day, that's, when it's raining, you take an umbrella. When it's not raining, you don't. So this is going to be a short video. And just remember, don't trust what you hear. Trust what you know. You know in your heart that these people didn't become billionaires because they're good people or they want to save the world. They became billionaires because they're greedy and they'll do anything for a penny.